When Madeline asked me to come speak tonight, I was so excited for the chance to share with you my story, and hopefully you'll leave here tonight thinking more about your own story and why you do what you do. I was baptized a Catholic when I was a month old, went to 12 years of Catholic school, and I guess you could say I first started using my skill set in middle school. I was the one who did the morning prayers over the intercom at my grade school, and I was the one who always did the responsorial psalm and sang it, starting in second grade. Looking back, it's pretty clear what God had in mind for me, that He wanted to use my talents to go before people, communicate with people, and also connect with people. So for more than 25 years, before I came to Denver, I grew up in DC. I worked for a TV station there behind the scenes. Then I went to Evansville, Indiana, not knowing anyone, to be a reporter, Louisville, Kentucky, to be an anchor, and then I came here in 1996. But then in September of last year, 16, I left the world of broadcast journalism, and I started my own business, which is called Dyer Storytelling, and now I don't refer to myself as a broadcast journalist, I call myself a generative journalist. That's generating news to build community, sharing stories to connect each other. I will confess, I did not come up with that clever title myself. I stole it from a group in Canada. But when I saw it on their website, I'm like, that's so what I do. So I'm going to refer to myself now as a generative journalist. My thing is that the more we know that's going on in our community, the more we know about what's going on at different churches, at schools, in neighborhoods, across town, we are a bit more connected. And you're talking with your friends, oh my gosh, did you hear? For example, when you heard about, I assume you all did, a brand new all-women's homeless shelter that opened up in September, just for women, helping our most vulnerable get off the streets at night. That's a great story, all just for women. And when you hear that it was because of a partnership with the city of Denver and Catholic Charities, yes, a government agency partnering with a religious organization. That's a story. And when you hear that the city of Denver gave Catholic Charities $1 million to make this building possible out on Smith Road, that is a story. And then when you hear the mayor say, I want to keep partnering with Catholic Charities. They understand how to help our city's homeless and our low income. But you know what? I didn't really hear that story much on the news. I saw on one website 2 sentences about a partnership, but the enormity of what that means, and the mayor and Larry Smith will tell you, they might have gotten 2 phone calls. Like, how can you do this? Because everyone gets that we need to partner, we need to work together to find some solutions to make this a better place to live. So I let everyone know about it. I went on social media and on my website and everywhere just to let everybody know, because I think what is needed now more than ever are stories that inspire us, educate us, engage us. My motto is educate, engage, and advocate. You may already know why you took your career path. I was told by Madeline, and correct me if I'm wrong, that a lot of you are with nonprofits, is that right? Yeah? Okay. So obviously you want to help people, right? That's why you're in your line of work. I'm always fascinated by why people do what they do. I'm always like, when I approach a story or when I talk with a group or an organization that's trying to figure out what their story is, the why. Yes, the what's important for your services, this is what I do, but I think what the heart behind your school, whatever it is that you do, the heart is the story. That's the thing that people are going to remember. With social media these days, I don't need to be the only generative journalist. You guys, especially with nonprofits, you need to be super loud and let everybody know about the good work that you are doing. Share short stories, images, quotes, pictures, something that will capture somebody's attention. Last Tuesday, I drove up to Cabrini Shrine for a meeting. If you remember last Tuesday, it was so foggy. And if you know where Cabrini Shrine is, I had no idea where, I was going up this hill. It was so foggy the whole time I'm praying, like, God, you brought me here for a reason. Just get me down this hill. Great meeting, but I took some pictures that were really, it was just very weird to be the only one up there, because usually it's so crowded. And it was so foggy. And I took a couple of pictures of Mother Cabrini's image, either on signs or a few statues. Not, you couldn't see to the store. And I put them on social media, and they did so well. Because I think, just reminding people too, her feast day was on Monday, but the foggy picture, every day we see stuff that's interesting, that's sharing. And in your organizations, I'm sure you have great, profound stories. Let people know about them. You guys are young, younger than me, you know social media. I encourage you just to be louder on it and let people know. I heard the mayor say 1,000 people are moving to Denver every month. And those people want to be engaged with their community. They want to know the stuff that's going on, the good stuff. So you all have to be loud and be generative journalists and get the news out there. I'm not just the person who was on TV. And maybe now that you've listened to my story, you're a bit more invested in who I am. And we're connected. And you'll listen. That is the power of storytelling. There's a graduate professor at Stanford who really promotes storytelling for businesses and programs and nonprofits. And she says a story is a journey that moves the listener. And when the listener goes on that journey, they feel different. And the result is persuasion and sometimes action. That is why storytelling is so important for business, especially for nonprofits who have something to tell. In sharing my story, I was very genuine. That resonated, at least I hope, with you all. Your stories that live in your organizations are just as profound. Talk with the people that you work with. People care. They want to connect to different groups. They want to be a part of a community. As young Catholics, this is a place where you can come together, share ideas, share your faith. I put that story on social media back in February, which was the 5-year anniversary of my accident. And in a day and a half, I got 60,000 views. And that was a record amount for me, and I did not boost it. But one of the comments I received was from the teacher of my workshop. And he said, "Love hearing the stories behind the listeners. Yours is particularly poignant, Kyle, in part because you could watch how the public could write your story for you until it was time for you to do it yourself." So true. Everybody thought they knew how I felt or how that day affected my life. And isn't that true when someone looks at your organization or you as a young Catholic and they think they know all about you? But do they? Let them know. Show them your heart. Show them your why. The post that I did got the attention of my high school, which is a small rural school in Maryland. And the alumni magazine this summer was all about finding your true voice. So they wanted to write an article on me, which was called Finding Your True Voice in Silence. And I will say the last 5 years have probably been the most profound years of my life. Yes, having 2 children, fabulous, rewarding, amazing experience. But that experience was something I could never have imagined. Totally what you were saying earlier, right? You never know. I know that it happened for a reason. And I am so grateful. Truly I am that God put me in a place where I needed to be challenged. For someone who was a planner and likes to know how everything's going to be, this was something that I just left up to God. When I was hurt, I was exceptionally calm. Not shocked, I was just not freaking out. Everybody else is freaking out around me. I did put the death grip on the EMT in the ambulance. I did do that. But I really felt like I was in good hands. Not just the best plastic surgeon in town. I knew I was going to be okay. I felt like God was right there with me. It was a really cool feeling. And my guardian angel, because Lord knows it could have been so much worse. A lot of people would say, "Oh, how do you feel? I mean, you work in such a cosmetically driven industry. Oh, yeah." And I just didn't even think about that. My mother just fell and scraped her face and she canceled bridge for 2 weeks. And I'm like, I never even worried about that. I just knew it was going to be okay. There were memes about me. They're still out there. Social media posts blaming me for being an idiot. I got too close to the dog. I should have known better. But the loving messages that I got from all over the world were so much louder than the negative. And that is true in anything in life, right? I look back on that experience and I am glad that happened. It made me stop and think and reflect and pray about the fast pace I was going, and here are my little girls who are growing up, and I truly believe that that led to me changing my hours and then truly finding what my passion is. My sister came out to visit me. You saw her making a face, trying to pretend that her mouth was sewn shut too. We're tighter now because of that. As I said in my story, that experience helped me realize how important it is to listen to people. We all think we listen, right? Do we really? In this day and age when there's so much going on, we're so busy, there's information coming from so many areas, listening deeply to one another will elevate not only you, but gosh, it makes the person that you're listening to feel amazing.